So friend, this presentation is related to IRIS standard requirement. What is IRIS? IRIS stands for International Railway Industry Standard, and the latest version of this standard is revision 4. And the intent to share this video with all of you to just share the knowledge, because knowledge sharing is the knowledge caring. If you go by the IRIS standard, what is IRIS standard? This is basically a management system standard which is applicable for the rail organization. It is also based on your 9001 requirement plus railway specific requirement, right? In the standard you find the ISO requirement plus supplemental requirements. So this supplement is the rail specific, and this is applicable for the rail supply chain. If you go by the IRIS methodology, IRIS system, so IRIS based on the different references and the tools. The reference is the ISO 22163. The meaning of this ISO 22163 is the basically standard which which describe the requirement of to implement, which have different type of the shall requirement, that of the should requirement, which is a mandatory to implement for a company. If you go by the terminology, shall requirement is always mandatory, should requirement is recommended to implement. Second part is the IRIS certification performance assessment. It is basically the rules which is followed for the IRIS certification. The combination of the IRIS certification performance assessment plus ISO 22163 with the support of technology, which include portal, database, and audit tool. If you combine all these things, then it become your the IRIS certification revision 4. Who can go for IRIS? First of all, must be a legal entity, right? Secondly, they have autonomous RQMS. It means they have their management system which is controlled by them. They have at least 3 certification activities. So as per IRIS, there are 5 mandatory, not 5, there's 5 certification activities are there, which are design development, requirement management, project management, EPPS, and the production. So you have at least 3 certification activities, and as per rule, out of these 5, right, 2 are mandatory, which is always applicable to each organization, the which are your requirement management and your project management. Apart from this, you should have a single site with a physical address or multiple site, but the intent physical address is mandatory. Plus you are eligible for one or more IRIS certification product scope, which we discuss in the next slide. What are the certification activities? What are the product scope? If you go by the certification activities, so what are the certification activities? Project management. Secondly, requirement management. As per IRIS rules or IRIS certification performance assessment, these two are always mandatory. So whatever the company size, whatever the company's manufacturing does depend, it means both are always applicable. Apart from these two, at least one of these 3 is applicable. What is these 3? Control of externally provided process product services, design development, and production and service provision. So out of these 3, anyone is minimum anyone, right? So company who is want to go for IRIS certification, they can have project management, and requirement management is mandatory. Apart from this, they can have design and development and or control of externally provided product process services and or production service provision. All 3 can be applicable or anyone can be applicable, depend on the type of the company. If we go by the business category, so in the business category, the rolling stock is there, in signaling is there, infrastructure, maintenance, distributor, turnkey, and the testing in the tool. So you have to supply any of the segment to this out of this business category. So the mandatory requirement is certification activities plus your business category. The IRIS assessment is always done on the 3 types of the pillar, which are enabler, customer perception, and process performance. If we go by the little detail, what is enabler? So enabler is your IRIS standard requirement. The system has defined this standard requirement in the maturity system level. It means defined, qualified, optimized, and poor and insufficient. So defined is equal to 2 marks, qualified is equal to 3 marks, optimized is equal to 4 marks, and poor is a 1, insufficient 0. Apart from this, there is a second type of the requirement, that is a closed question. It means either answer is yes or no. If yes, 2 marks, no, 0 marks. Apart from this, there is third segment. This is applicable the enabler. It is basically your 10 knockout questions. Second pillar is a customer perception. So customer perception is evaluated on the two parameters. PI is called your performance indicator, and another enabler. In the iris, there are 10 line items which are act as enabler, as well as they are acting as an input for your customer perception. Third pillar, process performance evaluation. So process performance evaluation is all conducted on the five key processes, which are your project management, requirement management, design development, control of externally provided process product services, and the production. And as per the applicability, the process performance evaluation is conducted. For example, your company is not doing the design and development, so design development is not applicable, so performance evaluation will be conducted on other four processes. And the iris, there are 23 mandatory processes. What are these processes? Are risk and opportunity, resource planning, calibration, competence, documented information, tender, transfer of processes, tender management, project management, configuration management, change management, requirement, design and development, EPPS, production and service provision, special process, post delivery, non conforming output, RAM, safety, FAI, obsolescence, internal audit, and the non conformity and corrective action. The RAM is your basic reliability, availability, maintainability, and as for safety, and FAI is the first article inspection. What are the 10 knockout requirement? What are the knockout requirement? 4.2.2, understand the need and expectation, risk management, competence management, change control, requirement management, classification of EPPS means externally provided process product services, special process, first article inspection, analyzing the evaluation, the process review, right? And after the audit, obviously the outcome will be there when we are evaluating on the three pillars: enabler, custom perception, process performance. So in that case, as per the output of the audit, there is a different quality performance level. This is one of the mandatory requirement in the iris, that the organization has to submit the some key basis data for the data review through the iris portal, right? If they are not submitting this data in more than 60 days, then any of the QPL is not applicable. The company will get the IRIS certified. Apart from this, there are different requirements for bronze, silver, and the gold. If go by the bronze, your enabler must be 67%, and process performance a minimum 70%, and custom performance is only applicable. There is no scoring is impacting your bronze level. But if you go for the silver, right, so data submission requirements as equally applicable. Apart from this, you have to, the enabler should be minimum 72%, process performance 80%, customer perception 75%. Gold is the highest level. In the highest level, the enabler is 80%, 90% is the process performance, and customer performance is 85%. So this gold is always the highest level. Apart from this, there is a direct customer feedback is required, and the IMC review this report, and the decision will be done by the IMC and IRQB. But in the silver, right, IMC check the report thoroughly, and in the audit, that the audit is not conducted for the target of the silver bronze. This is conducted for the fulfillment of the requirement. This quality performance level is the output of the audit, right? So these are the key areas that we discuss about the iris basic technology. Hope I am able to explain the things, right? We will start the chain of presentations or the videos to elaborate more of the system requirement related to IATF, related to iris, related to ISO, related to quality. Will continue to start a series for that, so that we can share the knowledge, because knowledge sharing is the knowledge caring. Thank you very much. If you want to support us, so just please share this recording with your colleagues, so they can get also benefit of this. Thank you very much.